Hello, this is your host PlayStation Frustration, bringing you all of the latest tech news, information, etc. Today's news: the NSA has labeled all privacy-loving people extremists. My message to the NSA: fuck you, bitch. Kill yourself with bleach law. Get wrecked.
So, I went to VGN. This is in all serious now. We're cutting to serious mode. I went to VGN and I went to the off-topic session just to look for some news. Down there was this thing that the NSA considers Tor users extremists, and I was like, I gotta see this. This is interesting. And then I learned that since I like my online privacy, like most freedom-loving Americans, the NSA thought I was equal to someone like this. So I thought it was rather amusing that they thought people that used Tor were some sort of extremist, whether political or religious otherwise. That was a joke, of course. Please don't get triggered. But I'll bring an image of the Tor logo plus a little additive to it. Yeah, that right there. That's Tor, but it doesn't have the, national security thing on it. That's, just a reference for what it is. But Tor is a... How do I explain this? It's a software that hides your identity through web browsing, and it lets you visit the dark net, or the dark web, or the deep net, or the deep web, or black web, or black net, whatever you want to call it. You can visit some black market sites on there, actually, but it's not just for criminal use or discussing with terrorists how you plan your next attack. There are reasons to use it, and it is just to protect your anonymity, or however you pronounce it, online. And that does not mean that you're an evil person for doing so, or that you plan to blow up an embassy or start shooting some people. That's definitely not what it means. I've used it. I've visited. I've never used it for, truly to protect my anonymity, or however you I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong. But I've used it to visit the deep web and all that to see what was on there. The deep web is pretty much what Google doesn't allow you to see. There's nothing dark or really about it. Well, there is. There was definitely a few dark things about it. But it's never been to really protect my identity, but I really support people who do. And Tor wasn't the only one targeted Linux users as well. Those who use Linux, I can't remember what it's called. But it does flag minute. Yeah, I think it's just Linux. I don't know if it's just Linux users in general. But let's get to some of the information. So we can see that some of the information that this was released by Edward Snowden, and I'm sure we've actually heard about this a couple of times before. But the document apparently it was a program, X Keyscore, which Snowden, of course, he's anti-surveillance from agencies or whatever government. And he leaked this document, and I'm not sure if this is on WikiLeaks or whatever. Apparently members of the Tor project obtained Keyscore source code and reviewed it in detail. Now, this is actually, I think, where the information came from. Tor released this information. And they discovered that the NSA flagged members of the Tor community and the related IP address, and of course, doesn't put you on a terrorist watch list, but you get flagged, your IP gets, and then they start tracking information in detail, which is scary that your own government tends to do that. That's something more people should be worried about. But there is a reason people don't pay attention to this, or care about, when the NSA steps across their bounds and, But let me read this real quick. The program flags any IP address involved in any web search for the term Tails or its meaning. That is scary, that if you Google Tails or Tor, or I don't know if it does Tor, but, you start looking up through Linux and all that, and Tails Linux distribution is ComSec mechanism advocated by extremists or extremist forums according to TechSpot. That is scary. You shouldn't have to, like, what if someone's interesting? Why does that mean you should have your IP flagged and investigated? What? Or not investigated in a sense. But I want to tell you why this is, why some people don't care about this stuff. And there is a simple reason. There is honestly a very simple reason. And it comes into the form. Let me just read a comment for you, alright? There's a reason people don't pay it. It's quite beautiful. You'll love it. Alright, here we go. Alright. The government is not worried about US security. They hired the terrorists for 9/11 and the same to invade Syria. Clinton's email. Anyone in government sending her an email would have noticed that she wasn't using the government server. They could care less. They know hydroelectric dam well what the terrorists are doing have financed ISIS in the first place. What are they doing about it? Saudi Arabia was third in the world in arms purchases this year. And how about a corrupt, and that is about as corrupt as the U.S. I can't read that, sorry. Considering it is Congress that's okay with the weapon sales. And they did what while Saudi was committing war crimes? Our ally, according to our government. How about the only country or main one that supports terrorists and terrorists act against the USA or USA soil? Iran sent IED to Iraq while our troops were there. Then Obama jumps and be buddies with them. He has not a brain in his head. And then you expect to hear this right after.
Social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula.
See? You expect to hear that right after. Sorry, that was so small I couldn't read it. I was like struggling. But that's exactly why people don't take them. When you put stuff like that in the comments, if you keep it real, like, you know, hey, yeah, there was an Operation Northwoods, but then you start getting into robots and, you know, the government's planning everything, and it's no one pays attention to stuff like that. It's sad. All right. When you start hearing some people say, I'm not going to claim that 9/11 was not a false flag. I'm not going to claim that, you know, these other events are whatever. But when you start getting into every single thing that happens is a false flag, or oh, the government's doing this, the Illuminati take over Bilderberg, you know, you start losing people. It's stupid, and they do this for the views, of course. They have their own little community, and they get views off of it, and, you know, they feel important. It's fear-mongering. It's all it is. Now, like I said, I wasn't claiming these things. Now, some of these things are true, which I'm not claiming that 9/11 was or isn't. That's for everyone else to decide, and, you know, but it's that simple. You lose everyone, and it's like you're insane after that point. Are you saying a single shooting can't happen if the government plans every single one of them to take away our Second Amendment right? Whatever. But I mean, all right, guys. I will cover politics a bit in some sense, but the thing is, I did this because it is tech related, but I will cover things like this. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. You need to be aware of things like this and pay attention more if these things like this do happen with your own government. It's kind of sad, but yeah. Either way, thank you for watching. Adios.